There's this quote, "The privilege of a lifetime is being who you are." It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does.
What if, the deepest satisfaction, the most impactful professional presence we can have actually comes from this radical act of self-discovery?
That's a powerful starting point.
Welcome to the deep dive. We cut through the noise to get to the insights that really count.
That's the idea.
And today, we're plunging into some pretty profound wisdom. It's drawn from a collection called Daily Spiritual Quotes over at the Spiritual Seek.
Right. Now, that site also has things like self-assessment tests, but we're not really focusing on those today.
No, exactly. Our mission here is different. It's about pulling out these timeless truths from the quotes themselves, truths that might give you a shortcut to real self-understanding.
And hopefully empower you to live more authentic life, maybe one with more, let's say, focused intensity and effectiveness.
Yeah, finding those aha moments, the ones that genuinely shift how you see things.
Precisely. Helping you navigate life with both that professional drive and a deeper personal understanding. It's about seeing how this kind of wisdom can fuel a more impactful existence.
Okay, so let's unpack this. The very first thing that jumps out, it's almost impossible to miss, is this intense, consistent focus on self-knowledge. Even the site's motto, right? Know thyself.
Yeah. It's not just presented as some historical footnote.
No, it feels like the foundational step.
Yeah.
Especially if you're aiming for, real influence or just living authentically.
And what's fascinating is just how many different voices, deep thinkers, echo that same call. You've got Joseph Campbell saying, your sacred space is where you can find yourself again and again.
Finding yourself, yeah.
And then Carl Jung,
yeah,
he takes it even further. He calls becoming who you truly are the privilege of a lifetime.
The privilege, not just an option, but a privilege.
Right.
That framing feels significant.
It really does. It suggests this isn't just some casual self-help idea. It's presented as the ultimate pursuit for a life of integrity, maybe even peak professional performance, rooted in authenticity.
But it's not exactly painted as easy, is it?
Definitely not.
Jung himself drops this pretty intense line. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's where it gets really interesting, I think. It directly challenges that tendency we have, maybe especially professionally, to show only the polished bits.
Right, the curated version. Which brings up a really critical question for anyone listening, especially those in demanding roles.
Right.
Why? Why is that kind of radical self-acceptance so, terrifying?
And yet it's positioned as crucial for growth.
Exactly. Jung's idea, I think, is that it forces us to embrace everything, not just the strengths we list on a resume, but the shadows, too.
The flaws, the messy parts, our whole humanity.
And he suggests that when you really look inside, he says, who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens.
An awakening? That sounds intense. But essential, maybe, for being a truly grounded leader, or just a grounded person.
I think so. It's about waking up to reality.
So, for you listening, what does this boil down to? It means the journey, the real work, it starts inward.
And Carl Rogers adds that interesting paradox, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. When I accept myself just as I am, then I can change.
It's counterintuitive, right? It implies that fighting yourself, rejecting parts of yourself, it actually blocks real transformation.
It stops you from evolving, maybe in your career, your relationships, anywhere. It's like self-rejection is the anchor holding you back.
Makes sense.
So moving on from that deep internal work, the wisdom here also makes a really strong case for, getting moving, for action, for embracing change.
Yeah, it's not just about sitting and thinking. Robert Louis Stevenson says, the great affair is to move. Nothing else matters.
Just move. It's not even about having the perfect plan figured out first.
No, just initiating that momentum. And that connects so powerfully to Robert Frost's line, that really stark truth. The only way out is through.
Right. Intense.
Yeah. It suggests that real growth, spiritual or personal, isn't found by dodging the hard stuff.
No shortcuts around the challenges.
Exactly. You confront them head on. Yeah. Often the healing, the resilience, that strength we need professionally too, it's found on the other side of fear.
That really lands, and it links directly to how we actually shape our lives, doesn't it? Our reality.
How so?
Well, Buddha's insight. What we are today comes from our thoughts of yesterday, and our present thoughts build our life of tomorrow.
The power of thought.
And Marcus Aurelius echoes it. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. It just hammers home the agency we have, the sheer power of our internal state.
Which poses a really vital question for everyone listening. Are you consciously, intentionally shaping your tomorrow, or just letting yesterday's thoughts run the show?
That's a challenge.
And Aristotle's wisdom fits right in here. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit.
Right. It's not just about skills like practicing an instrument. It's about our character, our being.
Precisely. Real deep transformation isn't usually one lightning bolt moment. It's built through consistent, deliberate actions, day after day. Think about your work habits. They compound to create your impact.
So it's about consistency, but also flexibility, like learning to move with life.
Yes, exactly. Alan Watts puts it beautifully. The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance.
Join the dance. I like that.
He suggests that fighting the current, resisting change, that's what causes the suffering. So this adaptive quality, this fluidity, it's key, especially now when things change so fast.
Okay, so we've got self-knowledge, action, embracing change. Now things get maybe even more mind-bending.
How so?
A lot of these quotes seem designed to challenge our basic perception of reality, to nudge us toward a kind of radical humility.
Ah, interesting. Like Haldane.
Exactly. JBS Haldane. The universe is not only stranger than we imagine, it is stranger than we can imagine.
That really puts us in our place, doesn't it? A call for cosmic humility, acknowledging we just don't have all the answers.
And probably can't even conceive of some of them.
Right. And W.B. Yeats builds on that, but maybe with a more magical feel. He says, "The world is full of magic things, patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper."
Oh, I love that. So the magic isn't missing.
Our perception might just be too dull to see it. It's about cultivating a sharper awareness, a sensitivity. Imagine applying that in a complex negotiation or just noticing subtle cues from your team, seeing beyond the obvious.
Even Einstein, the ultimate scientist, seems to agree. He said, "The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science."
He elevates the unknown, turns uncertainty from something scary into a source of awe, of wonder.
Which is crucial for innovation, right? That openness to what you don't know.
Absolutely paramount. Which leads to the question, are you personally open to the mysterious, or do you need everything neatly defined?
And Proust offers that amazing insight here. The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes.
Shifts the whole game. It's not about chasing the next external thing.
No, it's about transforming your internal perception, how you see.
Life isn't just a series of problems to solve, as Kierkegaard pointed out. It's a reality to be experienced. That mindset shift can be incredibly freeing, especially if you feel constant pressure for answers.
But experiencing it fully, well, it might require some discomfort.
That seems to be a theme.
Yeah, Gloria Steinem puts it very directly. The truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off.
Yeah, that rings true.
That's the intensity, isn't it?
Yeah.
Real awakening often shakes things up. It disrupts our comfortable stories, forces us to look at things we'd rather ignore, personally or professionally.
Definitely. Facing those uncomfortable truths.
Okay, so moving beyond just our individual perception.
Yeah.
These sources also talk powerfully about connection, our connection to each other, to the world.
Yes, that interconnectedness. There's that beautiful Australian Aboriginal proverb.
Remind.
We are all visitors to this time, this place. Our purpose here is to observe, to learn, to grow, to love, and then we return home.
Wow. Reframes everything as this shared journey, a temporary visit where we learn together. Reminds you of our interdependence.
It does, and Ram Dass, he captures that so simply and profoundly. We're all just walking each other home.
Walking each other home. That image really resonates. It sees connection as this sacred act of mutual support.
Imagine bringing that perspective into a workplace, even a competitive one. Recognizing that shared humanity, it changes how you lead, how you collaborate.
It must. And this leads to a pretty radical take on love itself.
How so?
A Course in Miracles, and Rumi says something very similar, states, "Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it."
Whoa. So love isn't something out there to find.
Apparently not. It's our natural state, and we're the ones blocking it with our internal barriers.
Yeah. So the work is internal again. What barriers have you built? And maybe more importantly, how do you start taking them down?
That's the big question. And maybe the answer lies in another profound insight, shared by both Rumi and Leonard Cohen.
About the wound.
Yes, the wound is the place where the light enters you.
It's such a powerful image that our deepest pain, our biggest setbacks, they aren't just things to get over.
No, they can actually become the source of our wisdom, our empathy, our depth, transforming that adversity.
Turning darkness into light, essentially.
Yeah, and this sense of connection, of finding light in darkness, it extends to leadership, too. Kobe Bryant suggested true greatness isn't just your own success.
Right, it's about igniting it in others.
His words were something like, the most important thing is to try and inspire people so that they can be great at whatever they want to do.
That shifts success from a solo act to a collective uplift, elevating everyone.
Which brings us maybe inevitably to Gandhi.
Of course. Be the change that you wish to see in the world.
The ultimate call to action. It puts the responsibility squarely on us. We embody the change.
And he offers that beautiful paradox, too. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others.
So finding meaning and purpose, deep impact, often comes when we look beyond just our own needs.
It seems that way, stepping outside pure self-interest.
Okay, so finally, this whole deep dive seems to build towards a powerful message about our own inherent strength, our inner power, and the privilege of being truly authentic.
Yeah, that feeling of tapping into something deep within. Rumi declares, everything in the universe is within you. Ask all from yourself.
Ask all from yourself. That's radical self-sufficiency. It suggests we already have the resources we need.
We just need to access them. And belief plays a huge role here, doesn't it?
How do you mean?
Well, J.M. Barrie's insight from Peter Pan, actually. The moment you doubt whether you can fly, you cease forever to be able to do it.
Huh. Right. So limitations are often just beliefs, not actual barriers.
Often, yes. That conviction, that unwavering belief, seems almost like a prerequisite for breaking through perceived limits, whether it's a creative block or a huge project hurdle.
And where does our actual power lie? Thich Nhat Hanh brings it right into the immediate moment. The present moment is the only time over which we have dominion. Not the past, not the
It must now, this present moment.
Right.
That's where our sovereignty is. That's where we can choose.
Which directly connects to Viktor Frankl's profound realization, born from the most horrific circumstances.
The space between stimulus and response.
Exactly. He said between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom.
That's maybe the ultimate human freedom, isn't it? That choice right there in that space. It's the core of personal and professional agency.
It really is, even when everything else is stripped away.
So given all this potential, this inner power, why would we ever play small?
Right. Marianne Williamson challenges that directly.
Yeah.
Your playing small does not serve the world. And she adds, there is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you.
Oof. That's a direct hit for anyone who dims their own light.
It's an urgent call, really.
Yeah.
Step up. Embody your greatness. Lead with your full, authentic presence. Don't shrink.
And maybe the way to wield that power isn't through force. Lao Tzu offers that incredible metaphor of water.
Ah, yes. Soft and yielding.
Water is fluid, soft, and yielding, but water will wear away rock which cannot yield. It teaches the immense power of flexibility, persistence, adaptability over brute, rigid force.
Flow like water.
And Rumi leaves us with that piercing question. You were born with wings. Why prefer to crawl through life?
Yeah. Why crawl? It's an intense challenge, isn't it? Remember your potential. Dare to actually use those wings.
It is a call to soar.
So, wrapping this up, we've journeyed through some deep, sometimes intense spiritual insights today.
We really have, from the absolute necessity of self-knowledge
To the power of action and embracing change.
the freedom in shifting how we see things.
That profound connection through love and service.
And finally, unleashing that authentic inner power we all have.
It really feels like a path, moving from looking inward to making a tangible impact.
Yeah, from self-discovery to really elevating things for yourself and others. These aren't just, nice platitudes. They feel like practical wisdom for living with real intensity and depth, professionally and personally.
Especially when things feel chaotic or overwhelming.
Definitely. Grounding principles.
So as you, the listener, reflect on all this, maybe mull over this final thought from Lao Tzu. It's a powerful challenge.
What is it?
If you want to awaken all of humanity, then awaken all of yourself.
Wow. It starts with you.
Exactly. So the question is, what's one small, deliberate step you can take, maybe even today, to lean into your own awakening, your own deep dive?